Welcome to Saturday Chat again. And I'm actually pondering whether more chats might be on the cards. I haven't traditionally searched YouTube for good modeling channels. I've sort of always just put on documentaries or things while I was modeling. And I haven't really been that into what was available. Now that I'm doing my own channel, I'm starting to look at what is out there and seeing if there's some good stuff to follow. And I haven't actually stumbled across a modeling chat channel sort of like what I'm doing, and I wasn't really sure if that would even be something that people like, but it does seem that it's not too bad, and maybe it's worth doing more of that. I have been pleasantly surprised by the comments on the videos. I seem to be collecting some regulars who make comment and have input and actually, in a way affect what I'm going to speak about on occasion, which is really cool. So it's, in a sense, a little community that's growing, which I like. So maybe the chats are, growing. That might be a good thing. I'm also not keen on the channels that have music going in the background. I mean, even if it's nice music, it's just that's not what I'm looking for at that moment. I just want to hear the person talking about the model. And there are some who speak well about their models. There are others that just build with no talking. But I haven't actually found a single channel that I can put on and listen to continually without getting annoyed by some aspect of it. Anyway, tell me what you think, more or less. Chat videos. I wanted to show you this a while back, and I know it's nothing new. I made this for myself in the 90s, and I've been using it on and off. The only reason it ever gets taken off the table is because I clutter myself off the table. So this was Tamiya glue, my little bottle of turpentine, thinners and paint, Humbrol bottle. I don't often knock things over, but on the occasion when I do knock things over, it is so annoying. These days there's people who do 3D printing of these things. I still like this one. It's heavy enough. So I think this is going to go back onto the table. I use turpentine, by the way, for if I've been doing hand brushing of enamels, of Humbrols. That's a very, very handy way to do the first cleaning of the brush, or almost the whole cleaning of the brush. And turpentine behaves very, very differently than thinners. You can use the same turpentine over and over. You hardly need to fill it for a fair time. Thinners, once you've trashed it, it sort of keeps everything in suspension. Whereas turpentine, the stuff sinks to the bottom. So a day later it's clear again, or yellowy clear. I do less brush painting of items, but I still do occasionally. And I guess it comes from the 80s, but I'm an absolute user of Humbrols, and that will never change. Even though Humbrols has changed its formulas over the years, and I really like the old stuff, but obviously as it ages, it's you end up with less and less of your original tins. one, I did an inquiry for someone that had some vac forms that I could practice with. So even though I've done one vac form, that Harvard, which I'm not completely finished with, I felt like actually doing a vac form which I don't care about, which is a slightly odd statement. Why would I want to do something that I don't care about? And the reason is because if I care about it, I'm going to take way too long, and I'm going to be trying to finesse every little aspect of the thing. Now, I just want to show you. Okay, so this is the, what is that FW? Oh, it says there, the TA154. Are you going to see that? Oh, let me just open this. I don't know why this, I've seen this on some vac forms, but not all. Can you see the dots on the wings? And on the fuselage. I don't know if that's going to come through. There's like, oh, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 per side on the fuselage, on the rudder. There's a whole bunch of these dots which, I mean, you don't need to mold, you don't need to vac form with those, whether they be positioning dots or what. And this one also has it. So someone out there who's knowledgeable on vac forms, tell me why some people make vac forms with no surface nonsense. And then you get this. Now this is rare plane and air model. This is a fairy Fulmar. You're not going to see it through there. Let me open this quickly. And I'm thinking of doing this one first. It looks like the better one. That TA154. I'll do something. I need an idea. I need a sort of a goal with it, as opposed to just building a TA154, which I don't like. Which is good. I don't care about the model. I just care about the practice of building a vac form. Is this sealed as well? Wow, okay. Where's my little knife? So on this one, oh, it's also got this very yellowed canopy, and I don't know if the yellowed canopy is just, you know, it's been in the sun or something. It was nicely vac formed. It's got a kink in the top there now, which a bit of hot water, I'll try and fix that just now. I'll tell you how that went. So, but look at those dots. You can see the dots over here. Now that doesn't matter, but there's also dots on the fuselage in places. See if I can get the right reflections going here. It's got very nice surface detail, this one actually. I don't know if that comes through. You can actually just, yeah, you can just see the reflection. It's got very nice surface detail. That could be the best surface detail I've seen on a vac form kit ever. So that fairy Fulmar, Fulmar. I'd like to give that a bash. I actually don't dislike the Fulmar, so I'd have to watch myself getting too involved in this thing. But I was sort of pondering, you know, why would you want to build a vac form when you can build the injection molded kit, other than what I'm doing right now, which is sort of a challenge to myself and a practice, because I know it's a hassle cleaning them up and that. sometimes you get kits which don't exist in injection moldings, but this one does, obviously, so why would you bother? So it's really, I'm doing it just to keep my skills up and to have practiced the thing. But, well, you know, there are guys that build them because that's the only way you get a particular plane, which I guess is why a lot of these things, the more common ones, just end up floating around till someone grabs it and does something with it. We recently had a huge batch of vac forms at our club being redistributed. Now, I think it was Carl, were you saying one of the categories, if you want, of kit bashing is using better leftover parts from another kit. So this would be an example where, to save yourself the hassle of many of these smaller parts, if there were leftovers from another fairy Fulmar or any kit, what Carl was saying was, you know, using slightly better quality parts which were left over. Sometimes kits give you duplicates, triplicates, or variations, versions, and you end up with stuff that you can use on another one. I do have a fairy Fulmar, but it doesn't come with spare parts, the Airfix kit, so I'm going to have to use all the parts that are in there. I could do this one wheels up. That would save me having to do crappy undercarriage. And some of these parts could be just made out of styrene plastic. Cutting those things out would be really annoying, those undercarriage doors. So you see, here's a blemish, something bad from the molding. You know, it's the plastic got a bit too thin there. The exhausts here are a bit trashed, and the spinner is a bit conked in. But it's nice to have got that. So thanks, Steve, for sending that to me. The wings have got very nice detail. I didn't actually realize. I don't know if this is post vac form. Surface detailing. I don't know how you even get that in a vac form. I don't know if you can see all the very fine panel lines. This thing's full of panel lines, so that's very good. Oh, I didn't actually spot that before I brought that to the garage here. So for those of you that don't know the fairy Fulmar, there's a picture. So actually, that's very nice. That's you know, I was asking if anyone had some vac form kits that were sort of really scrappy, a bit like this one. So the question is, what do I do with this? Those dots, I think could be thick enough that they actually, if I sand them down, you're gonna make it right through the skin thickness there, which means that if you actually want to just assemble the airframe here, you have to go and put a little piece of backing plastic in place where all of those holes are, so that when you've actually sanded them and then you end up with a hole in your wing, you've got something to fill against rather than just a hole into it. I think maybe that's what's best with this one, is just try and assemble it. It's got some damage here, it's got some warping, but it's nothing uncommon for these sort of things, so shouldn't be too bad to fix. It's just, I guess the thing with this kit is all of the dots. Let's see what we can do. I'll just gradually, every Every now and again I'll just sand off a few of those dots and cut out a little bit more. So this packaging, do you know how cool parts of this or the whole thing is in making a diorama? Probably something sort of semi-sci-fi related or distant planet related. I collect a couple of these, and this is quite an interesting one, or even a flak battery up here, something interesting. I don't know if any of you do that. Very, very nice surface texture for putting some groundwork on. I'm going to see what I can think up for that. You know, every now and again, kits come around that you just think are so nice. Not specifically for the topic, but just such an amazing kit. And if you're into a little bit of variety, this is one of my recommendations for just something that is so nice. It contains all of these ships. Of course, they're tiny. So this is 1/700th harbor stuff. And if you're into making small dioramas, or of course adding these to features with your 1/700th ship, they are Japanese, but if you didn't tell anyone, they'd hardly know. You could easily put a couple of these ships around a British 1/700th or an American 1/700th. A very cheap little set and so amazing. I've got two of these. This one's still in the box. If you're into ships and you're into small and you're into interesting, that is a recommendation. Let's first do this one. I just wanted to show you this. So this Republic CB, if you've ever seen this kit, the whole kit is in clear plastic. I've painted the inside black. I'll explain why now, but the whole kit is clear plastic. And not only that, the halves, there's no halves of the wings. The wings are solid one piece. So obviously, as someone answered me on one of the videos, the clear plastic doesn't have the plasticizer, so it's all very brittle. But it's the only CB. I think this is the only CB model that's in existence. And I really do like the CB. I like the CB partially because it's made by Republic, and that relates it to the P47. But I like the CB because it is just such a weird aeroplane. Now, in this kit, you get absolutely nothing on the inside. That which I held up is it. So you've got horizontal stabilizers, you've got wheels and struts. That's it. A very odd and simple kit. Now, I have masked and sprayed most of the, so obviously I can't spray onto the gluing area. I've sprayed that interior so that when I paint the exterior, you don't have the brightness, you don't have light coming through. You've given it a solidity. Now I might actually even do this one metal finish, which means that gloss black helps me even more. And secondly, around the window frames there, I still need to get that solidity on the inside. And you will notice that the clarity of the clear is not good at all. But I am going to put interior into a medium level interior. This one's better. That one's better. I don't want to fuss too much. I'm not out to get a beautiful interior, which you can also see through crystal clear glazing. But so I completely need to scratch build all of that. The airframe assembly is obviously very easy, but the window masking, you know, it's all curved surface windows, curved edge windows. So when I spray the outside, that's quite a mission to mask. But that's about the only difficult thing on this. A very, very interesting kit, very simple. So all of the work is just getting a little bit of interior there and window masking. The Republic CB. While I was packing my armor onto the same shelf this afternoon, sort of did strike me that I've neglected my 1/35th for a while, and this is just such a cool shape. I started work on this quite a while back. This troop, I don't even know what you quite call this, a landing craft, amphibious landing craft, or just an amphibious troop mover. This might, well, I say that for everything. It might be my next model, but I do actually have the M16 half track to finish off. But I could do this one. It's not the most difficult. There's I do like these rubber tracks, by the way. There's ways to get them to stay attached, even under a bit of tension. I've always liked these rubber tracks. I don't mind the plastic ones either, but I don't turn away the opportunity to build anything with rubber tracks. So that's a very nice thing that I have got lined up. However, in saying that, so with my shelf organization, which I've been doing, and this afternoon I did another 2 shelves into my display cabinet. So I condensed the sort of how many models I can get into there. It's not the best for display purposes, but it's the best for me being able to get models into cabinets and out of the way and safe and sort of semi-presentable, in as far as that if you open the doors you can look at them nicely. I've got, as soon as I'd added the 2 extra shelves, they were just about full. I have got a lot of models that are waiting to be finished, and not as many that are finished. I'm starting to organize the sequence of those ABC. I've now actually extended to an ABCD shelf, simply because I've got too many waiting to be built. And that's only for the ones that are small enough to actually fit in there. A lot of the things that I'd like to be sequencing for work is too big to fit on a shelf, like some of the bigger 148s, or a truck, for instance. Ships, they don't fit easily into that. Well, unless if I made the whole shelf for ships, then they can fit in long-wise. But now, so the cabinets that I've got are pretty much chocker full. There's a bit of space. My motorbike shelf it'll be full by the end of this year. And I don't really know what to do after that. I don't want to buy more and more cabinets and more shelves and that. It's so I guess that'll be a video topic for the end of this year, how we go forward with that. But I'm glad that's done. That's there's still organization on my other shelves inside, but there's a huge improvement in what's been happening there. I do have this tendency to want to grab a kit and start looking at it and start doing some initial things and then set it aside, because I just do exactly the same thing on another one. And I don't really mind, if that's where I get my enjoyment. I'm sort of getting a mental picture of what's involved in the kit, as opposed to just having everything in the sprue. To me, a kit that's just on the sprue in a box means I don't know anything about it now. I need to take it apart and start looking at how things are going to go together and getting my head around the thing and how many parts and all that. One of the viewers, was it David? David, you were saying, slightly different topic, this is now back to the plastic, that you were having an oddity on, you were saying the plastic, your paint reacting to the plastic. Now I must just say, I've been building models for one pretty long time, actually 50 years. I have not ever had paint react on plastic, except if the following were true. I had, and it hardly happens because I'm very aware of that, a lot of fingerprint and hand oil on a kit. I'm very particular about that. A kit that had molding release agent dash an oily surface, that hardly happens, but it is possible. So if you happen to have hit a kit or two where as soon as you, and that's only if you were spraying with a solvent like thinners or something like that, which would then change that oil to now be more fluid again if it had dried over the years, because you did mention they were a bit older kits. If you're spraying with acrylics, the only thing that I've seen is where, and I don't think this would be you because you were spraying the initial spraying of your model, not a coat, not a clear coat onto decals and that. The one that I've observed is when you've used decal sol and decal set on your decals and you are then doing your final gloss clear coat dash floor wax coat, and you hadn't wiped away that excess acid, because that decal sol and set is just an acid, that will react. But you weren't doing that, which means that I don't actually know what's going on with what happened with your stuff, but I don't think it's the plastic. I think what is happening there is just the paint. Whatever you are observing is just the paint. What it is, I have no idea. You didn't say if that was acrylic or enamels, but I hardly ever have a hassle with Humbrolls. My Humbrolls get old and they can get a little bit grainy and stuff like that, but that's not, it doesn't sound like it's the reaction that you were talking about. What else can I speak about? I was going to bring that citron box over, but I can't. I think it's deep undercover over there. putting a Blenthem nose on a little round Citroen car will actually be quite impressive in 1/24th, because that's quite large, because I think the car is about that big, and then with this Blenthem nose extending somewhat, you'll have a car that's, you know, average sized. But because it's completely bubble with your framework, you have to build quite nicely on the inside. It doesn't have to be, it mustn't be good quality. In fact, it must be, you know, almost garage style, backyard mechanic sort of style, slapped together. This is not a production car. This is just a very interesting. I wonder how I would do the. Oh, I've got some 1mm. I think it's 1mm. 1mm it's not PTFE plastic. Anyway, it's a clear plastic, and I'm going to build a vac form thing. So if I could actually, instead of putting individual panes into a framework, which will be delicate work and prone to breaking, I could create a master of that shape of the Blenthem nose, vac form this clear over it, and make almost a 1 or 2 piece clear thing that just fits onto the car, and then you work its attachments, and then you just do the framing. That would make a lot more of a solid thing. That sounds like an interesting idea. Okay, add your comments, ranging from, do you think we need more chats per week? And the chats can include a lot of the topics which you would put into the comments that you'd like addressed and stuff like that, as well as just my own random ramblings about model stuff. Right, happy modeling. Cheers.